first chapter of geography, and that is endowments of nature. So the question is, what is the meaning of endowments? Means gift of nature, gifts of nature. So just check out what are the learning objectives of this chapter. हम लोग ये chapter में क्या पढ़ने वाले हैं ये देखते हैं. So the definition of resources. Okay, this chapter is all about resource. Okay, so definition of resources, types of resources, usefulness of resources means importance of resources, classification of resources, and resource conservation. Dear children, remember, naturally occurring substances on earth that are valuable to us in one way or another, such as land, air, and water, are called gifts of nature. We use these gifts of nature to meet our daily needs or demand. Early humans were unaware of the utility of these gifts of nature. Why? Because early man had very few basic needs, which he fulfilled by obtaining materials from his surroundings. But today, our needs have become more complex, and we satisfy them by materials obtained not only from our surroundings but from other parts of the world as well as. So these materials are converted into resources by value addition. So the term value is very important for resource definition. So just check out what is the definition of resource. All the objects in the environment which are useful to man and have a value. I am going to repeat, all the objects in the environment which are useful to man and have a value are called resources. So it is not enough for the definition of resources. So apart from the value, other characteristics also very important for resource. So these are some characteristics of resources. So first one, utility. Utility means satisfaction. जो resource है, जो हम लोग resource है, जो हम लोगों को demand और needs है, वो satisfy करे, तो it is called utility. Next one, value. जो resource है, उसका कुछ value होना चाहिए. ओके, मार्केट वैल्यू होना चाहिए, तो ये टर्म को हम लोग बोलते हैं वैल्यू. नेक्स्ट वन, डिप्लेशन और कंजम्पशन. डिप्लेशन मीन्स जस्ट लाइक लैंड रिसोर्स को हम लोग कन्वर्ट कर रहे हैं फार्मिंग पे, मरीन रिसोर्स को हम लोग कन्वर्ट कर रहे हैं फिशिंग पे. इट इज कॉल्ड द डिप्लेशन ऑफ रिसोर्स. एंड देन व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ कंजम्पशन ऑफ रिसोर्स? कंजम्पशन मीन्स फॉसिल फ्यूल्स जो है, ये फॉसिल फ्यूल्स को हम लोग क्या करें, कंज्यूम कर रहे हैं, तो इट इज कॉल्ड द कंजम्पशन ऑफ रिसोर्सेज. ओके, नेक्स्ट वन, टेक्नोलॉजिकली एक्सेसिबल. सो टेक्नोलॉजिकली एक्सेसिबल मीन्स जो रिसोर्स है, जस्ट लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल मिनरल्स. तो मिनरल्स का जो रॉ मटेरियल है, इसको एक्सट्रैक्ट करने के लिए जो टेक्नोलॉजी है, ये वर्ल्ड वट एवर द कंट्री पे प्रेजेंट होना चाहिए, ये बहुत ज्यादा एक्सपेंसिव ना हो, तो इट इज द टर्म technologically accessible. Next one, economically feasible. Economically feasible and values the same kind of. जो रिसोर्स है उसका मार्केट वैल्यू होना चाहिए, जो इकोनॉमी को, जो कंट्री को इकोनॉमी को सपोर्ट करे. ओके, नेक्स्ट वन, कल्चरली एक्सेप्टेबल. जो रिसोर्स हम लोग यूज कर रहे हैं, वो जो पीपल है वो कल्चरली एक्सेप्ट करे. ओके, इसका जस्ट लाइक पीपल के सेंटिमेंट को हर्ट ना करे. It is called culturally acceptable. These three terms are very useful for your class 10th also. Okay, so you will find out these three terms as a resource definition in class 10. Now, for clearing your resource concept, we use this diagram. Okay, it is a triangular diagram and three components are there, just like physical environment, technology, institution, and most important, human. So for making resource, we need a place for extracting it, isn't it? So कहाँ से हम लोग रिसोर्स एक्सट्रैक्ट करेंगे? ऑब्वियसली फिजिकल एनवायरमेंट से. सो आफ्टर गेटिंग द रॉ मटेरियल वी नीड टू कन्वर्ट इट, isn't it? So on that time we need a technology for conversion. ओके, सो फिजिकल एनवायरनमेंट से हम लोग रिसोर्स को ले आते हैं, उसके बाद टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करके उसको हम लोग फिनिश्ड प्रोडक्ट पे कन्वर्ट करते हैं. बट फॉर दिस ऑल द कन्वर्शन वी नीड ए प्लेस, एंड दिस प्लेस इज कॉल्ड इंस्टीट्यूशन. एंड ऑल द थिंग्स obviously done by human beings. All these things, all the conversion for extraction, all these things are done by only human being. Okay. For example, waterfalls are just rivers tumbling down steep slopes with no real use. Waterfalls are just for the scenic beauty, or we can say the examples of landforms. Okay, but the waterfalls become a resource only when man invented the technology of harnessing the force of falling water to generate electricity, isn't it? So the conversion process, we need the technology and any kind of institution, and who controls all these things? Human being. Dear children, let's move to the next topic, and that is types of resources. So resources just be divided into three categories: natural, human and man-made. So what is the man-made resource, or we can say the human-made resource? These resources are created by human beings with help of the materials available in the environment. Machines, synthetic materials, buildings, houses, parks, roads, institution, any kind of. So all these are the example of human-made resources. Then the question is, what is human resource? Human resources include the quantity as well as quality of the people. They are greatest resource of the earth. They are capable of making the best use of natural resources through their knowledge, skills and technology. So only human beings can discover, exploit, develop and convert the available or potential resources into useful product, okay, or we can say wealth. Already we discussed that what is the meaning of man-made resource and human resource. So the question is, what is the meaning of natural resource? So the resources which occur naturally are called the natural resources. The gift of nature in the form of natural endowments fall under the category of natural resources. For example, rocks, land, air, water, soil, minerals, natural vegetations and fossil fuels. Isn't it? Some natural resources can be used directly without any modification, but some of these resources need to be processed to make them fit to consumption. Natural resources can be classified or divided in numerous ways. They can be classified on the basis of origin, exhaustibility or utility, based on a level of development, based on distribution and based on ownership. We will discuss all these things one by one. So first one, based on origins. So based on origin, the resources again divided into two parts, biotic and abiotic. So as the name suggests, biotic resources are those which have their origin in living things such as vegetation, animals and humans. And abiotic resources, these are those resources which are related to or have their origin in non-living materials like rocks, soil and minerals. Okay, so biotic means living things and abiotic means non-living resources. Okay, next one, based on utility or exhaustibility. Again we have to divide this criteria into two parts, renewable and non-renewable. Renewable again divided into two parts. In your book it is not there, but remember it's for reference. Renewable again divided into two parts, just like continuous or flow resources. And next one, biological resources. So water, we can say water, air, all are called as the continuous renewable resources, and forest and wildlife are called as the biological renewable. So renewable resources are resources that can be reproduced, regenerated or renewed within a period of time by physical, mechanical and chemical processes. So I am going to repeat this: resources that can be reproduced, regenerated or renewed within a period of time by physical, मैकेनिकल और केमिकल प्रोसेसेस आर कॉल्ड एज रिन्यूएबल रिसोर्सेज. मतलब इसको हम लोग रिप्रोड्यूस कर सकते हैं. तो एग्जाम्पल क्या है? वाटर, फॉरेस्ट, वाइल्ड लाइफ, सॉइल, then humans also fall in this category. Okay, then question is, what is the meaning of non-renewable resources? So these are resources like minerals and fossil fuels which get exhausted with continuous use and are not easy to replenish, जो खत्म हो जाने के बाद लौट के नहीं आएगा, ये इस टाइप के रिसोर्स को हम बोल सकते हैं नॉन रिन्यूएबल resources. So judicious use of these resources would make them last longer. अगर हम लोग बहुत ही केयरफुली इसको हम लोग यूज करें तो इसका टाइम पीरियड बढ़ा सकते हैं, बट इसको हम लौटा नहीं सकते हैं नेचर पे. Okay, so non-renewable resource again divided into two parts: recycle non-renewable resources, example metals, and non-recycle non-renewable resource fossil fuels. Okay, the next criteria is based on level of development. So in this criteria we again divided into two parts. The resources again divided into two parts: potential and actual or developed. So the question is, what is the meaning of actual or developed resources? So resources that are already being utilized by humans are called actual resources. मतलब जिसको हम लोग आइडेंटिफाई कर चुके हैं, ऐसे रिसोर्स के हम लोग बोलेंगे एक्चुअल और डेवलप्ड रिसोर्सेज. तो एनर्जी रिसोर्सेज सच एज कोल, पेट्रोलियम, यूरेनियम, ऑल आर फॉल इनटू दिस कैटेगरी. एग्जाम्पल क्या कर सकते हैं हम लोग? द दामोदर कोल फील्ड्स इन इंडिया, द alluvial soil of the northern plains and the oil fields of Assam are examples of actual or developed resources. Okay, then the next criteria is potential resources. Okay, so what is potential resources? The resources which exist in a region and could be used in future but are not yet developed to their full potential. Potential resources which exist in a region and could be used in future but are not yet developed to their full potential are called potential resources. Potential resources need detailed survey for their estimation of their quantity and quality. तो हम लोग जान रहे हैं कि कैसे तरीके के रिसोर्स है, बट हम लोगों के पास इतने अच्छे से डेवलप टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं है कि हम लोग एक्सट्रैक्ट कर सके या इसको प्रोसेस कर सकते हैं. Okay, for example, Africa has great potential for the generation of hydroelectricity, and in India also Rajasthan has potential for the development of solar and wind energy, but it is not yet fully developed. Okay, next criteria is based on distribution. So again we are having two part: local resource and ubiquitous resource. So what is the localized resource? Resources which are confined to certain parts are called localized resources, like coal and petroleum. Okay, then the question is, what is the meaning of ubiquitous? Ubiquitous means very common or formal. Okay, so the resources which are widespread all over the world are called ubiquitous resources. Example, जो resource को आप कहीं भी जाओ वर्ल्ड पे मिल जाएगा, तो कौन सा रिसोर्स है? वाटर, एयर, लैंड. ओके, नेक्स्ट क्राइटेरिया इज बेस्ड ऑन ओनरशिप. तो अगेन वी आर हैविंग फोर पार्ट्स ऑफ दैट: इंडिविजुअल रिसोर्सेज, community based resources, national resources, and international resources. So what is the individual resources? Just like your school bag are best example of individual resources, isn't it? Okay, so individual resources are those which are owned privately by individuals. For example, a plot of land, your house, a car, etc. So what is the next criteria? Community based resources. So these resources belong to the community of people. For example, wells, ponds, picnic spot, or community halls. Okay, national resources are those resources which belong to the people of a nation and lie within the political boundaries and territorial वाटर. सो अगर आप सोच लो कि इंडिया के अंदर जितने सारे रिसोर्सेस है, ये इट इज ऑल दिस रिसोर्सेस आर कॉल्ड एज द नेशनल रिसोर्सेस. ओके, एग्जाम्पल क्या क्या है? फॉर एग्जाम्पल रिवर्स ले सकते हैं, मिनरल्स, फॉरेस्ट, इवन द नेशनल रोड्स आर ग्रेट एग्जाम्पल ऑफ नेशनल resources. Next criteria is international resources. Are those resources which lie beyond the territorial waters of the country in open seas or oceans that are regulated and managed by international institutions just like UN, United Nations. Okay, no single country can utilize these resources without the permission of the international organization. Minerals, resources, fisheries, all are examples of international resources. So in class 10th you will read this criteria in details. Okay, so my dear children, that's the end for today's session. We will meet in our next class with new topics. Till then, bye. Take a very good care of yourself and happy learning.